She handed me a book, just a plain black scrapbook. But when I opened it, my whole world stopped. Page after page, pictures of every dessert I'd ever made her. Chocolate soufflés, strawberry tarts, oatmeal cookies with sea salt, a damn croquembouche I nearly burned the kitchen down over. Every treat, every photo of her smiling with it, a note beside each one. "This lemon bar made me cry at lunch," she wrote. "I didn't expect the crust to be that good." Another, "You made these because I said I'd never had cinnamon rolls fresh. I will never forget that smell." 100 desserts, 100 stories. 2 years of my life folded into a gift I didn't know someone was even watching me build. And at the very back, handwritten in slanted cursive, a letter so kind it made my chest hurt. She told me I was an artist, that every cake, every cookie, every mess I made in the kitchen, it mattered, that it brought her comfort, joy, love, that I had given her something real. I cried. I don't cry easily, but I cried. I thought my mom and sister would smile when I showed them. I thought they'd say something like, "Wow, that's so thoughtful." But they didn't. They looked at the book, then at me, and their faces changed. My mom's voice went cold. "You've baked this much? For her?" My sister laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "Kind of crazy you've done all that for your girlfriend and barely anything for your own family." And suddenly, I wasn't the boy who found a passion. I was selfish. In their eyes, I was inconsiderate, ungrateful, a son who'd forgotten where he came from. Let me take you back. I'm 16 now. I started baking when I was 14, just after I started dating my girlfriend. She had a serious sweet tooth, and I just loved the craft of it, the science and the chaos, the way flour dusted your clothes like powdered snow, the way eggs cracked with purpose. The moment a batter goes from sludge to silk, I fell in love with baking, but not with eating. That was her job. So I'd bake something new every week. Not always perfect. Some were disasters, but she loved it anyway. I'd watch her face light up every time I pulled something out of the oven. That joy? That was mine too. What I didn't know was that she'd been quietly keeping track, taking photos when I wasn't looking, saving wrappers, writing notes, crafting this living archive of our little ritual. She waited until I'd baked her the 100th dessert to show me the scrapbook. She timed it, thought about it, made it mean something. It was the best gift I've ever received. Not because it was fancy, because it saw me. I brought it home to share the moment. Instead, I got bitterness. My mom asked, "So, you never thought once to bake us anything?" My sister muttered something about playing house and rolled her eyes. At first, I thought they were joking, but they weren't. They were hurt, but it didn't feel like sadness. It felt like accusation. They saw 2 years of love and effort and saw what they didn't get. Not once did they ask, "What was it like to have someone do that for you?" Or, "How did it feel to know she'd been working on that secretly?" Not once. Just, "Why didn't we get that?" And here's the part I can't stop thinking about. They saw me bake, week after week. They smelled the cinnamon, heard the timer beep, watched me wrestle with the hand mixer when it overheated. This wasn't hidden. I didn't sneak out with cookies under my hoodie. I baked in the open. But in 2 years, they never asked for a slice. Never once said, "Hey, can I try one of those?" Or, "That smells amazing. Can I have a bite?" And now, they're mad. Was I supposed to read their minds? They never asked. And maybe you're thinking, well, you live with them. They raise you. You owe them something. But here's the truth. When I started baking, I bought the ingredients with gift cards from birthdays, money I saved from odd jobs. Eventually, I got a part-time job and used my own cash. I cleaned up after myself. I didn't use up their eggs or sugar or kitchen time. I didn't disrupt dinner. I baked around the cracks of life, and I did it for the joy of it. Still, I get it. I live in their home. I'm part of their life. Maybe they felt left out. Maybe they watched me pour energy into something that never landed on their plate, literally and emotionally. But instead of saying, "Hey, can I try something next time?" they chose anger, guilt. They made it about them. They looked at a moment of love and turned it into a scorecard. And that's what broke me. Because this wasn't just about desserts. It was about being seen. My girlfriend saw me, saw what I loved, cheered me on, documented my growth, treasured it. My mom and sister, they only noticed when they realized it wasn't for them. So I ask you this, am I the asshole for not baking much for my family? For doing something that made me and someone I love happy and keeping it between us? For not offering cookies to people who never asked? For not feeling guilty until they told me I should? I don't know. Maybe I could have shared more. Maybe I should have left a tray on the counter once in a while. But would it have mattered? Or would they have just eaten it, said nothing, and still never understood why I was doing it? All I know is this: baking became my love language, and I gave it to someone who spoke it back. That scrapbook, it's not just pictures of sugar and butter. It's a quiet record of care, of hours spent whisking and folding, hoping the center sets, praying the crust browns. It's joy, it's memory. It's the kind of thing people forget to value until it's too late. And I got to see it while I was still a kid. I guess that's rare. So yeah, maybe I didn't bake much for my family, but I baked for someone who loved me exactly the way I needed. And isn't that enough? So, am I the asshole? What does it mean to give someone your effort? Is it a cake? A letter? A ride to school? Or is it something harder to measure? Attention, consistency, love? The story isn't about dessert. It's about recognition, about how easy it is to overlook someone's passion when it's not served on your plate, about how, sometimes, the deepest gifts aren't bought. They're built, slowly, silently, one recipe at a time. OP wasn't wrong to pour his heart into baking for someone who saw him. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't selfish. He was young, loving, growing. And his girlfriend? She did what so few people do. She paid attention, closely, quietly. She remembered. And in doing so, she gave him a mirror. She said, "You matter. I see what you do. I see who you are." If you've ever loved something that no one else understood, you know how lonely that can feel. And when someone finally does see it, it's life-changing. So here's our question to you, dear listeners. Have you been looking at the effort or just the results? And when someone shares their passion, do you meet it with curiosity or with silence? Let us know in the comments. This is AITA Story Vault. Thanks for listening.